Blog Talk Radio.
Not my country. My country is me and my family.
Well, your country's also Huerta, and the governor, the landlords, Gunther Ruse and his locusts. This little revolution we're having here.
Revolution? Revolution, please don't try to tell me about revolution. I know all about the revolutions and how they start. The people that read the books, they go to the people that don't read the books. They put people and they say, ho, ho, the time has come to have a change. Huh? Shit, shush. I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the revolutions. The people who read the books, only the people who can't read the books, the poor people and say, we have to have a change, so the poor people make the change, huh? And then the people who read the books, they all sit around the big polished tables, and they talk and talk and talk and eat and eat and eat. Huh? But what has happened to the poor people? They're dead. That's your revolution. So please, don't tell me about revolutions.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
A palace in which there is no king or queen or dukes or earls or princes, but subjects all, subjects beholden to each other to make a better place to live. Is that too much to ask? Are we asking too much? Is it beyond our reach? Because if it is, then we are nothing but sheep being herded to the final slaughterhouse. I will not go down that way. I choose to fight back. I choose to rise, not fall. I choose to live, not die. And I know that what's within me is also within you. That's why I ask you now. Join me. Rise up with me. Rise up on the wings of this slain angel. We'll rebuild on the soul of this little warrior. We will pick up his standard and raise it high. Carry it forward until this city, your city, our
set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war. But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better rev than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Gibson. We are live on Blog Talk Radio tonight. How is everyone? It's Sunday evening, 8:30, a little after 8:30 p.m. Hope everyone is well and fine. Like I said, this is going to be the family and friends night. Hopefully family and friends did tune in tonight. I see a few on the line now. Maybe they're listening in on the computer. I do not know. However, like I said, we all are so busy nowadays, and we're so busy we're not accomplishing anything. Nothing. We're causing more harm and damage than we are doing good by all these gadgets, these cell phones, dropping your cell phone in the toilet, or dropping it on the ground, and you got to go spend $100 to break the economy. You know what? 20 or 30 years ago, if you look at the standard of living and, what the bills you had if you were a homeowner, really the standard of living has not changed really that much. Because you got to remember, 20 years ago, we did not have cell phones. We didn't have DirecTV. We didn't have your internet bill, your wireless connection. For instance, my AT&T bill, I pay about $59 a month for my internet, another $50 for my phone. Okay, and then I got my cell phone bill, which is another $50 a month. Okay, and then I got my DirecTV bill, which is about $120 a month. We didn't have those bills 20 or 30 years ago. But you remember, we're all making those payments, obviously. I see everyone walking around with cell phones so far stuck between their you-know-what. I almost ran over a guy the other day. If I wasn't paying attention, I would have ran him over. He's looking at his cell phone. I'm trying to pull up to a gas pump. He almost walked right into the hood of my car. I had to beep the horn because he's looking down at that iPhone, text messaging while he's walking. You see these funny commercials. People with the iPhones and the cell phones, they're jogging, looking at their iPhone, and they run into a telephone pole. Everyone laughs, but that's pretty disgusting. Just turn it off. Everyone has cell phones, but then when you call them, you can't get a hold of them. It goes straight to voicemail. So what's the purpose of having a cell phone? I think when cell phones first came out, it was something you put in your car and you drove around with, and then it evolved to where it was on your hip, and then it evolved. Now it's connected to your email, and then you got the cameras in them now, and now people cannot live without their cell phone. What did we do? How did we manage 25 years ago without cell phones? Think back. It really wasn't that hard, was it? We still stayed in touch with everyone. As a matter of fact, we stayed in touch with everyone a lot more than we do today. This technology we have has done more to separate the people than it has to bring them together. It's desensitized people. Don't you agree with me, people out there listening? People, they go into convulsions if they break their cell phone. What am I going to do? It's the end of the world. It's just like I said, this technology we have, what has it really done to better our lives today? Has it done really any good for us? No, it has not. It has not. I just don't understand. I see people they like I said, this guy almost ran into it. It was like amazing what I was looking at, what I watched. It was like, what the hell is he doing? He's going to walk right into my car. Where are we in society today? Where are we? Let's bring up another point here. What I heard about today, I came across some information. Planned Parenthood has pulled their petition because they didn't receive enough signatures. They received 210,000 signatures. I'm not sure the exact number, so I don't want to say an exact number, but they didn't receive that many. They put a petition out to defund Planned Parenthood. They had to pull it because they didn't receive enough signatures. But yet, we know about that lion story in Africa, right? The tiger. The guy that killed the tiger, they put a petition out to stop this hunting of tigers. Okay? 21 million people signed that petition. Because you should see the comments on the internet and on Facebook. It's disgusting how people treat animals. Those poor tigers. Those poor tigers. And the people over there in Zimbabwe, in Africa, Nairobi, or I can't remember the exact place where this is happening, they cannot get over how the American people care more about tigers than they do the African people or the people in their own country. They can't get over it. It's a joke to them. They're like, what the hell is wrong with you Americans? You care more about an animal than you do your own aborted babies. It's okay to chop up babies in abortion clinics. We won't sign a petition for that. News media won't pay attention to that. But yet that tiger that got killed over in Africa, oh, my goodness. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh, America, you're so wrong for not getting involved. We should send the Marine Corps over there to intervene. We need the UN to intervene, don't we? Well, we got to get NATO involved. Bomb them, these hunters. They're terrorists. Don't you know that these tigers hunt and kill people in the villages over there in Africa? That is actually a celebration when you kill a tiger or a lion, because their children go out and play. They live in huts over there, okay? They don't live in condominiums. They live in huts. And when the children are playing out in the field, the tiger comes, guess what? Eats the child. It's happened many, many, many times. I believe it was in Nairobi, 239 children mauled by tigers. The villages praise the killing of tigers, but we in America, we're sitting at Starbucks with our latte. America should get involved. But yet we don't care about the baby getting its limbs chopped off in the mother's womb and then sold. Hey, $20 for an arm, $30 for a leg. We don't care about that, do we? We see a squirrel get run over. Oh, we can't sleep for 3 weeks. We got to take Xanax. We got to go see our doctor. We're psychologically traumatized. But we see a child getting beat up. We walk away. Why? Because you've been desensitized. Back to the beginning of my conversation, you have too many electronic gadgets. You're playing too many video games. You're watching these sick movies. The pornography, the disgusting crap you see on TV. Okay? That's why we are the way we are today. Anyone want to challenge me on that? Go right ahead. Anyone have a comment on that? You're more than welcome. Most people won't chime in on that particular topic because they know I am right. They just won't admit it openly. Because we don't want to give up our cell phones and our gadgets and our money and whatever else we have, our prized possessions. But let me tell you something, whether you're religious or you're not, you believe in God, let me tell you something. When you're on your deathbed, and I know a lot of you out there have seen a family member dying or laying there dying, or you've even seen it dramatized on TV. They're laying there, whether in pain or in peace, with their eyes closed, ready to pass over to that next life that none of us know anything about, unless you've experienced a near-life death experience. That person lying on that bed when you turn 75, 80, 85, 90, or even when you die when you're 50 or 60, whatever age you're called upon to die, do you really care about your cell phone at that moment? Do you care how much money you have in your checking account at that moment? Are you wondering how you're going to pay your electric bill at the end of the month when you're lying on your deathbed? No. I wonder why. Those things are so important right now. They're the most, our bills. We got to pay our bills. I got to pay my bills, my credit card bills. I'm going to be in trouble. I got to pay my car insurance. I got to pay my car payment, my mortgage. That's what all we care about. And granted, we have to pay. That's the way the world works. I don't pay my electric bill this month. I won't have any electricity. It sucks without electricity. We don't know how to live anymore without electricity. I don't pay my cell phone bill. I can't drive around talking on the cell phone anymore. That sucks. Or does it really? Or would I be better off without my cell phone? Would I be a better person? Would I be paying more attention to the road? Would I be paying more attention to the things around me, my family, my friends? Probably so. I'm not saying for everyone not to pay their electric bill, to have your light, to live off the land, but I'm just saying that's why people in those days that we always talk about years ago were better people. They lived a better life. They were happier, and they actually lived longer. Okay? Well, I thought we were evolving, though. I thought evolution, that they teach in the schools nowadays. We're evolving to be better, aren't we? We're evolving. America is the land of sudden death. You can go to the grocery store, get robbed and mugged, raped, whatever, murdered, and you won't come. It's the land of sudden death. You could be driving down the road, pulled over by a cop. The cop's got a bug up his ass. He can pull you in, plant drugs on you. I've seen it happen. Anything. I just don't take that as an example. It could be anything. America is the land of sudden death. So you need to value your life and understand the times in which we live in today and take every day as it may be your last and cherish that day and stop worrying about the bullshit out there. Stop worrying about money. Money is the root of all evil. The Bible says it. They knew it back in the day. Matter of fact, during Jesus Christ's ministry, it's the only time in his ministry that Christ became violent. He whipped the money changers out of the temple, whipped them, chased them out of there. Imagine that day. Imagine me walking to a bank or Wall Street. Imagine me walking into Wall Street and chasing everybody out. I'd have some sort of power, wouldn't I? That was a pretty powerful day when he walked into the temple and chased everybody out. That just goes to show you how much power he really had. Because I could not walk into Wall Street and chase everybody out. I'd be shot dead. Okay? So, I hope everyone enjoyed that little bit of for tonight. If any of you have anything else to add, or you have a question, the phone number is 657-383-0616. You press 1, and I'll put you on. I got somebody right now. Go ahead. You're there. You are now. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is that me?
That's you. You're on.
Hi, this is Joe from Meriden again. How are you this evening?
How are you?
Just wonderful for a Sunday night. You were going on and on talking, so I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in, and then I'll let someone else come in. I'm reading the chat here, too. He says I'm too loud, or maybe you're too loud. You're breaking up every now and then, so maybe he's talking about... So maybe he's talking about you. I don't know. We got Leroy Dickinson on there. Yeah, he just wrote in the host is too loud, and that's true because it's breaking up as you talk. But
I'm
you were talking
sorry.
about,
I have to adjust the volume. I'm sorry, but I apologize. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep my voice down a little lower because I don't want to screw around with the mic now. Okay?
Yeah.
But go ahead, Joe.
If it goes off, we won't hear you at all. You were talking about movies on TV, and everybody's too busy. And you're absolutely right. And, Disney, all those nice little cartoons for your children and everything, well, they've been a big purporter of porno in the cartoons since the 40s. You've got naked women standing in windows. You've got male penises for children's toys and shapes and everything. And they've been doing that for 50 or 60 years. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Fox News is getting into that now with subliminal programming on the screen. So you're being programmed. No matter what you watch, what you do, and it's like I said last night. Take this news, take what you see, take it with a grain of salt, and move on with your life.
Well, I understand that, Joe, but you said we were talking about last night when you called in because you're a supporter of this show. About the food that we eat, the products that we eat today, and that's just one of the main problems that we face in society today. That when the grocery store is a very important part of our daily and weekly lives. We all go to that grocery store to buy what we need to supply our bodies for what we need, and if it's all poison or it's toxic or GHMO. What do you have for advice for the people out there? I know you touched a bit on it the other night, but for the simple person out there who doesn't have time to grow an organic garden, to just go off subject here just a little bit of what I opened up with, just for the person that doesn't have doesn't have the time to go out and bake bread all day long or eat healthy, what do you recommend from your personal experience for an easy thing that they should do or look for when they walk into these corporate grocery stores?
Okay, well, first of all, there is no easy without knowledge. If you have knowledge, then it is easy. To go repair the transmission in your car, if you know how to do it, it's a piece of cake. But, if you don't know how to do it, you're never going to accomplish it. So you say easy. There's no easy in anything, but as long as I'm on the line, and what I'll do is I'll do a little spiel about something about that, and then we'll let the other people get on. But you have to learn about everything in order to make it easy. When you look at something, you'll just be able to tell because you know. For instance, I may get this a little bit inaccurate, and you're going to have to do your own research, just like I just said, to make sure I'm right. The PLU codes, you pick up all these vegetables and fruits in the grocery store, and they have these little PLU codes on them. You know what? You see, I said this before. It's a lie, but they put it right in your face. Those PLU codes, they're telling you something. Those 4-digit numbers that are on there, they're telling you whether it's GMO. They're telling you whether it's locally grown, and it's just in those numbers. For instance, if it begins in a 3 or ends in a 9, I believe it's GMO. And if it begins in a 4 or ends in an 8, I believe it's locally harvested. But you have to do your own research and find out exactly what you're looking at. Louis Pasteur, he was the guy that did pasteurization and everything, where it kills microbes. Well, back then they didn't have microscopes or anything, and they were making their own microscopes. They were actually dropping glass onto wooden dowels, and they were getting magnifications of 250 times. And back then, they thought they had technology, by the rear end too. They came out with all sorts of things. They were looking at male semen, and this one guy said he could see little men in there running around, and they called them homunculites. And that's why when you got together with a woman, you had children, because the little creatures grew up. And as we know now, that's more than likely not the truth. So, but Louis Pasteur, he believed in pasteurization, and what he said is that, at 160 degrees, you'll pasteurize something, you'll kill the bacteria. Well, when he was dying, he found out he was wrong too, and that's not necessarily true. Bacteria is something very special. Bacteria have the ability to actually exchange information between themselves. In other words, if let's just say a male and a female come together, well, you know what, I want to be a male, all right, I want to be a female, and they just exchange that information. So we don't even know really what's going on with bacteria. But he thought of 106 degrees, I think it was 106 or 160, I'm not sure, that bacteria would die. But they're finding now that they also say, if you cook your vegetables and you fry them, you're killing the enzymes and you're killing everything. But they're finding now that there are deep-sea vents where the bowels of the earth are spitting up this heat into the bottom of the ocean, and it's coming out there at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. And I used to think that the extreme limit that anything could live would be 140 degrees Fahrenheit, but they find animals with their backs in the vents and their heads in 34-degree water. So evidently we're wrong about that too. So you have to do your own research. You have to read, and then you read what people think they know, and then you have to make your own decisions. But you got to read labels. You have to find out about the PLU codes, and you just have to look at packaging. Kashi cereal, that was one of the healthiest ones a year or two back. Come to find out, they're using they're using GMO ingredients. So it's all about advertising. It's all about programming, and you just have to do your own research. There is nothing easy.
Well, I understand what you're saying. You got to do your own research. But like I said, the original question was, these people don't have time to go on there and research. They're working 80 hours a week, and then they run into the grocery store and they buy junk food. Then they get cancer, they get sick, or what I'm trying to say is, simple person out there, for the simple man. And I'm not putting anybody down, but what I'm trying to say is that, okay, I don't have time to do any research. So what do you recommend as a friend I should do when I go grocery shopping? Just read the labels, pay attention to the labels? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you're going to have to do the research, and if you could pay attention to the labels, but you don't know what you're reading, so why bother? But, I said this last night. Fire your doctor. You know what's wrong with yourself. Your doctor doesn't. You can be an expert on your problems by just researching an hour or two a week and finding it out. Soy. Soy is in everything because it's cheap, and it causes breast cancer in women. It causes men to get man boobs. Stay away from soy.
Yeah.
And the easiest thing to do, if it's touched by man, it's probably no good. So there's an easy thing. So and don't think you're going to be a vegetarian, because you're not. Because vegetarians are generally sick, and if they're not sick, they will get sick. You have to have some sort of meat consumption. You don't get everything you get from vegetables, especially when the soil isn't even capable of growing those properly. You need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK, to grow your vegetables and fruits and everything. And that will produce your vegetables and fruits, but it's not going to produce them properly. They'll look like tomatoes.
True.
And speaking of tomatoes, they tried GMO tomatoes too, and that failed terribly. So tomatoes as of today, aren't GMO. But anything else, you got to be careful. Some of the things from Hawaii are GMO, and I can't recall off the top of my head right now. But you have to do your own research.
Like for instance, what did somebody just type in the chat room there? I like to pay attention to the chat room too, because you got about 6 people in there. What? They say take vitamins. That's why they look whiter. The capsule. I guess that's what you're trying to say. The capsule.
Whiter than Casper Ghost. Well, let me talk a little bit about a vitamin then. Vitamin B12. Let's talk about vitamin B12 for a moment, because you'll get a kick out of that. There are actually, as with all vitamins, there are many different kinds. And when the FDA does a test on any particular vitamin, they're generally paid, or whoever does the test, they're paid by the people that want the results that they want to get. So let's just say, for instance, they're testing vitamin E. What they're going to do is they're going to test the synthetic vitamin E if they want to get bad results, and they're going to take DL alpha with mixed tocopherols, or whatever it is for vitamin E. It's DL something or other with mixed tocopherols, alpha, gamma, beta, and delta, or whatever. And you know what? That's a chemical, and your body is not going to recognize that as vitamin E. So maybe they want the bad results. So that's the one they're going to have them test with, and they're going to say, we tested with vitamin E. That's like saying I got in a car and went down the street. Well, is it a Chevy? Is it a Corvette? So there's deceitfulness in everything. There's a little bit of truth in every lie. You have to do your research and find out what they did. Vitamin B12, they look whiter than Casper. With B12, there's cyanocobalamin, methylcobalamin, and hydrocobalamin. Now, cyanocobalamin, that's a cyanide molecule, and a cobalt molecule. That's cyanide, and what your body does is it breaks off the cyanide. And what do you think cyanide goes to your brain? If your body doesn't eliminate that cyanide molecule and you take enough of it, it's going to kill you. It's cyanide, for Christ's sakes. It's cyanide. Yeah. So the next best one is methylcobalamin, and that's what they're promoting. And if you go get B12 shots from your doctor and you get it injected into your vein, you're probably getting cyanocobalamin. Stay the heck away from cyanocobalamin. Methylcobalamin is one of the better ones that they promote, and that's methyl. That's from the methyl group. And I think that's 1 carbon atom bound to 3 hydrogen atoms, and that's better for you, definitely, than the cyano. And then the most expensive one, which we're probably talking in nickel as the most expensive one, I don't know, or nickel, is hydrocobalamin. And that's the best one, because I would assume hydro is water. So you're getting water and a cobalt molecule, which is what you want. So these people that are white, evidently they're not getting what they need from their fruits and vegetables, and if they're supplementing with vitamins that are laced with glue and sand and cellulose from trees, wood, and all kinds of other stuff that they put in the bottle just to sell it, that's possibly one of the reasons.
All right. Well, as somebody who studied this type of thing, these vitamins, and you always say what? Like the vitamins that are in a capsule. What do you say? Open them up and pour the powder out, right? Don't eat the capsule because that's glue, correct?
Well, the capsules that you take apart are generally either veggie capsules or gelatin, and the gelatin is probably made out of like pig's hoofs or something like that. And the veggie caps, of course, this is what they say. You don't know what they're really made out of. But yes, what I do for my herbs, of course, I grow a lot of them, but some of them I don't. I'll buy the powdered herbs. First of all, you get 20 times more bang for the buck too, but you have to be careful with the dosages you're taking on some of it. For instance, vitamin C. Everyone thinks that, ascorbic acid is vitamin C, and it is. But if you take a lot of ascorbic acid, it's going to upset your stomach and everything. So you go for like calcium ascorbate, and that's calcium. That's calcium, which would have a high pH, and then the acid, which would have a low pH, and it would neutralize itself in your stomach, and you could ingest a lot more. But when you're taking any kind of vitamin C like that with acid, rinse your mouth out afterwards, because it is an acid, and it'll probably be detrimental to your teeth or whatever. But in all cases, vitamin C is good for you.
Well, okay, you just said what was going to be one of my next questions. What is the most important vitamins people should be concentrating on taking? The average human being, not somebody who's sick or needs certain types of vitamins, but the average guy out there, because a lot of people take vitamins every morning, so what would be the most important vitamins we should really look for, and where can we get them, in your opinion?
That's a good question, and we can go right back to the very beginning. You have to do your own research. They are all important. One vitamin deficiency could cause many problems. One vitamin or mineral that you take could create you can't say the cure word. God forbid. That's almost like the N word. But one vitamin could cure lots of problems with you. So you have to make sure you get all of them. Your body, you need all of them to be healthy and survive. And again, tomatoes have lycopene. Look up what lycopene. They found that the Italians who have 3 or 4 servings of tomatoes a day, they don't have prostate problems. Now, is it because of the lycopene? I don't know. And tomatoes are from the nightshade family, which is deadly poison. So, take it from that. I wouldn't suggest eating a tomato leaf because it's from the nightshade family, but, we eat the fruits of it. So, that again, we can go back to herbs. Herbs are medicine. You have to be careful with them. You're gonna get your powdered calcium ascorbate. Don't go taking a tablespoonful, which would probably be 15 or 18 grams in a tablespoon, because it definitely probably wouldn't kill you, but you'd end up with very bad diarrhea. That's for sure.
Wow.
And not saying that's so bad either, because your body is eliminating it, and so it's probably eliminating other toxins as well. But
I hope people listening tonight find this information helpful, because our body and what we eat is very important in our day-to-day lives, and we all know it's called basically, let me just put it this way, it's common sense. There's a lot of junk out there, and I'm not going to lie to you, I like eating junk food. I like drinking a bottle of soda, but like you said, I think you used a scenario that I like use also. I've been using that lately. Cigarettes. A lot of people smoke cigarettes, and somebody asked you, don't you know that's going to kill you one day? And they asked you, how many cigarettes do you smoke a day? Or I think you made a comment, I smoke 20 cigarettes a day, and I'm 60 years old, and I'm doing just fine. But what if you drank 20 cans of soda a day? Do you think you'd really be drinking 20 cans of soda until the age of 60 and still be very healthy? Right?
Well, that's true.
Don't you think that's a pretty good scenario?
That's true. I just came in from my garden earlier this afternoon, and I picked some of my herbs, which I'll evidently be rolling into cigarettes, later this winter. There's someone in the chat now, Leroy Dickinson, again, watermelon diet for 3 days is good. You know what? I would tend to agree with that. But melons, you have to be careful with melons, because melons absorb all the toxins from the soil. But I would agree with what he said. But you have to be careful on where your fruits and vegetables come from, because again, it's not about the quality; it's about the money. You need nitrogen, phosphorus. You need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to grow a watermelon. Does it have the rest of the minerals and everything in it that a watermelon is supposed to have? First of all, watermelons are supposed to have black seeds. They're not supposed to be seedless. If it's seedless, it'll never reproduce. So there's something wrong there from the beginning. So whenever I get a watermelon, if it don't have black seeds in it, I don't eat it.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's pretty good. We kind of veered off from the original opening that I used, but I mean, we could stay on this topic a little bit longer, but I know last night I received about 10 emails about Donald Trump again. And if any of you know, it seems like this Donald Trump guy is like the most important thing and most important topic out there amongst everybody. And I posted a comment today on Facebook where somebody said, God bless Donald Trump. And everyone knows I'm a Bible believer, and I believe in the King James version of the Bible. And we know Donald Trump's wife posed naked in several photos, and I says, well, I just don't think God blesses that type of activity. Now, you know, to each his own, and I'm not going to judge anybody, but first, you know, we're not going to turn the White House into another Bill Clinton White House, okay? And this person wanted to debate me, but they never responded, and I challenged them to come on to this show tonight, and obviously I don't think they did. I know I got about 15 calls on the line, and I don't know who's on the line, judging by all the numbers. I do recognize a few numbers, but, you know, well, I got somebody right now that's pushed the question mark, so I'm going to go ahead and put them through. Go ahead, go ahead, sir.
I guess it's me.
I guess that's you I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah. Donald Trump, he's an idiot.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm listening, working on the computer. I just figured I'd say Donald Trump was an idiot.
Well, but why do you say that, though?
Listen to him. You could ask him a question, and his answer is, I made millions of dollars in Las Vegas. Shut up. What the hell? Get his ass off the stage, man.
Who do I have here on the line?
Jason.
Okay, Jason. I kind of figured the sarcastic. I know. I recognized the voice from a few weeks ago when you called in. But yeah, Donald Trump is not going to be my particular preference. Now, hey, listen. Now, who's the guy that you support? I forget. Who's the guy you support in this candidacy, in this debate here?
I like Carson, Dr. Carson.
Carson. Well,
yeah.
Do you know that Carson? I just came across some very important information. Carson is for forced vaccinations.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. But if you listen closely to what he says, he will tell you, just like abortion, everyone say, oh, you're for killing the mother if the baby, blah, blah, blah. You got to listen to what the guy says. And if you listen to anything on the freaking news or what you read on the Internet, you're already being lied to. I mean, you'll believe anything. I can fly. I've got 6 goats in my backyard that fly, too. So.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Carson's big issue on everything is each individual case should be measured differently. You don't make the rule of the land for everybody exactly the same. Everybody is their own person and should be judged individually. So I can't believe that he says he's for forced vaccinations just because that's something that you heard. No. Okay. I can respect that. But what I'm trying to say is that you just made a very important point. But, Jason, that's not the way the world thinks today. We're all one. We're all equal, right? You know, he had a good interview the other day. I can't remember who did it. It was a lady who kept pounding him about the abortion issue. He said, I spent many, many years saving young people's lives while they were still in the womb. And he says, I believe every child's life is important. Every child's life matters. And they said, so you're for killing? I mean, you're not. I mean, you're against abortion, even if the mother's life is involved. And he basically said, to break it down, look, this ain't 1829 no more. The moms don't die no more, hardly. It's very, very rare.
I heard that interview, Jason. I heard that. He was on Sean Hannity, I think. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the media that puts words in everyone's mouth. And even if he says, oh, yeah, I'm for abortion, then the next minute he says something contradictory to it that explains his answer, they're not going to show you that on the news. They're going to show you, I'm for abortion, and that's going to be all over the damn headlines the next day.
True.
So
There's a little bit of truth in every lie. Like I said, they don't quote the whole speech. They quote the parts they want.
So they can make a point out of it. And that's why I read the dude's book. When I first started hearing him talk and everything, I bought the dude's book and read it cover to cover. The only book I've ever read in my life, cover to cover.
Wow. I guess you are a big fan of him. That's the only book you read.
Yeah, honestly.
No, I'm not trying to put you down. That's okay. But what I'm trying to say, though, Jason, because I know you haven't called in for a long time, but what have you been up to so you can tell the people out there that are listening? Because you do have a lot of family and friends out there tonight. And those of you who don't know Jason used to travel around the world. He was a guest on this show about, I think, 2 months, about a month and a half ago. No, you were a guest on the show where I hosted on the Enterprise Media Sound Doctrine show, and I put you on there. But on my personal show, no, you haven't been a guest. So, but anyway, a lot of people followed me over from that show, and I used to be on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. The Sound Doctrine show, but they kind of didn't want me anymore. The hosts, the network wanted me, but the host didn't want me. I made him look like an idiot, but no, I'm not. No offense, but Peter's a good guy. He's my friend. We just had some good debates where I kind of won a lot of the debates. You know, he'll disagree with me on that. But anyway, Jason, back to you. What have you been up to?
Oh, just trying to find full-time employment, working at the shop, making some money, and working on some stuff on the side for a program a couple friends of mine are working on. That's about it, really. I stopped listening to the news, and I've been quitting smoking, so that's, other than that, I'm bouncing off the walls.
Well, tell me something. You're out there job searching. Now, you're a mechanic by trade, and you're also an internet type, you're a computer repair type. What type of computer repairing do you do? Because if there's someone out there listening, you know, hey, like I said, I give everyone the floor when you call in. This is not my show, it's your show. You got something to say or ask, I'll put you on here and shut up, you know. I just want to hear other people and what they have to say. But what type of expertise do you have in the computer field?
Oh, it's information technology. IT.
So, okay, networking basically, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, if there's anyone out there who needs networking or anyone who's in the field of networking, Jason's, you know, used to work for Marriott, correct?
I subcontracted for them internationally, yes.
And so, and you traveled around the world, you know, working for them, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so, you have plenty of experience. So if there's, you know, this show is archived. Hey, that show we did last week, there was a popular show we did. It got over 16,000 hits. Now, I know a hit doesn't mean they listen to the whole show, like somebody's going to tell me or comment in the box. But 16,000 hits is not bad for an internet show. So what you say and what you type in or your questions or, you know, what we talk about, remember, this is archived on the internet forever. And people go back and they listen. And that's why I want, you know, I take everyone's opinions and what you have to say very importantly. And because without you, I don't really have a show. So that's why Jason called in, and I know he's out there looking for work. So, you know, I hope I helped you out tonight.
Oh, I actually, on the 24th, I got a good position. I'm starting full-time at a company. And just to keep things good, I'm going to keep the shop and work there on Saturdays or Sundays and just keep everybody happy.
Good.
Well,
if anyone else has a question, you're more than welcome to call in at 657-383-0616. Press be connected with me. If you have a question, I got someone that just connected on. So we'll go ahead and 265-1337.
Okay, I'm going to mute your mic real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to run in the house and get something to drink.
All right, thank you very much for participating.
All right.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Granny Jason. I like Donald Trump.
Your grandmother called in. Yes.
And happy
but
birthday,
other people don't know who you are. You're Elizabeth Rondo from Wallingford, Connecticut, correct?
Yes.
Because you've called in before.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to add tonight?
I just said I like Donald Trump, and happy birthday, Joey.
Why do you like Donald Trump?
Because he speaks the truth, and everything that comes out of his mouth is the truth.
Well, he speaks his mind anyway. That's a good thing.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I respect that. That is not I have a problem with that. So what are you saying? You're going to get out and vote? Because I think you always said in prior shows that unless Nixon's running again, you're not going to vote.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
But you like Donald Trump. Are you going to vote for him?
Sure I am.
Oh, okay.
Why wouldn't I?
Okay, all right. Well, you're a supporter of Donald Trump. Did you listen to the interview with Megyn Kelly I put on last night?
Wait a minute. Yes.
You did hear that, and did you hear how Fox News was like, and the news media is really trying to rearrange everything he says. Like he hates women, according to Fox News. The commentator said. If you missed last night's show, I put a 2-minute interview where he was on Fox News and Megyn Kelly, and he kind of tore her apart and made her look like an idiot. Which he does do. I will give him credit there. He does. He's kind of like me. If you're going to try to knock me down, I'm going to come right back at you. And he made that Megyn Kelly look like an idiot. But I'm glad you caught that last night, Granny, and that's good. So how's everything in Wallingford, Connecticut?
Good. Remember, happy birthday and happy birthday, Bridget.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That's right. If anyone's not listening, it's my birthday tomorrow, August 17th. Guess how old I am.
Of course, I was celebrating the 16th.
39.
See, well, this is a family and friends show tonight, so that's perfectly, respectable. You calling in and saying those things because that's what tonight is, and everyone's invited to participate. Like I said, this is an open forum. Everyone has a right to call in and talk about what they want to ask or say. But anything else? If not, we're going to go ahead and start getting ready to wrap it up because it's starting to get pretty late. Anyone else got a question?
I'll wrap it up, yeah. I got more to say.
Okay. Hey, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Well, no, I didn't want to do that, but you get on here and then you're ready to close the show when everybody starts talking.
Go ahead.
Slow down a bit.
Say.
Well, I was talking about Disney before, and I was talking about how they put porno in their cartoons and everything. And we got the number one truth seeker here on the internet, supposedly Alex Jones. His signal is broadcast through a Disney satellite. Do you really think they appreciate that? I mean, where I'm going with this is, Obama up there or any president is up there and he's answering questions. And, oh, yeah, Joe Gibson from Meriden, Connecticut with the Corvette in the garage. You have a question. Go right ahead. Well, you know what? How does he know all this? Because they know the questions they're going to ask in advance, so they know the answer they're going to say. And I'm just wondering if Trump knew that Megyn Kelly was going to say that. Is this a put-up deal too? That's why I would rather not vote. I want to see a president in my lifetime that actually does what he says he's going to do, rather than say something and then go in a totally different direction.
Well, didn't you see that president? What happened to him? He got his head blown off. John F. Kennedy, right?
That's absolutely true. But that's true, and that may have been the last one that I know about. But again, we still don't know the truth there. And why is that? It's covered up somewhere.
Yeah, true. Well, I know a lot of people like Ronald Reagan. They think Ronald Reagan was the knight in shining armor, but he did do good in the beginning. But if you remember correctly, what happened? He got 2 put in his chest, or 1 put in his chest, and he kind of went along to get along after that. If you know true history, am I right or wrong?
Yeah, and that would be what would happen if we got McCain, because Ronald Reagan didn't know what he was doing. Right, Nancy? Just bring those jelly beans over here, and we'll take care of it. And McCain, and McCain too. Not that I want to knock him. He's a good senator, I guess, and everything. But he's got a problem with his memory too. He was in the war. He was tortured and everything else. You got to give these guys credit. As far as being a hero, though, I don't know if he's a hero, because all heroes are dead. And he's not dead, but he was in the war and he got captured, and he has his problems too. He picked 6-pack Palin and everything. Why? Why do this? I just like to see a president do something that they say they're going to do, and not go out there, get the votes, try to BS us all and everything, get in office and turn around and give nuclear weapons to some other country. Well,
Joe, thank you very much. Got anything else you want to add? Because like I said, the floor is yours. You want to go ahead and wrap it up, or what do you want to do?
Well, I don't know. I could talk to you a little bit about. I could talk to you a little bit about.
You got something else? If not, I'm going to start getting ready to wrap it up. I don't see any more questions coming across the board here. So
I could talk to you about COQ10 and ubiquinol and stuff like that.
We can do that tomorrow night. How's that? I'll book the show. How's that?
I can talk. I can give you a few comments about your B vitamins and.
I got someone
illness.
else with a question. I got someone else that just called in right now, so we'll prolong it because we have 30 more minutes technically. So I know it's getting late for some people, and I understand that. But we'll go ahead. I'm going to put them on live. Hello.
Hi
Hello.
there. Good evening, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Mike.
Hey. First of all, I'd like to wish Joey a good, a happy birthday.
It's birthday.
Thank you.
And
Bridget too.
And Bridget too. That's correct.
Thank
I
you.
can't call her because her phone's in a little bit of water. I hear. But
yeah.
No, Joey's Bridget.
Oh, Joey's Bridget. Okay.
But
go ahead, Mike.
There's too many Bridgets, like there's too many Joes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can't have too many. You know. No, but I'm really glad to hear the Betty's for Donald Trump. You know, over the past years we really haven't had much of a pick. If you really want to, be honest with yourself, all the fruit was kind of rotten, and we tried to pick the best rotten one we could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The reason I like Donald Trump is he speaks his mind, just like Betty says, okay? And, Megyn Kelly, she started out the interview with that question about, him being sexist and this and that and everything else. It was like...
And you know what's wrong about that question, Mike? You know what was wrong about that whole thing? What's totally wrong? We've got presidential candidates on stage. They're going to control our lives. And she's pissing and moaning about him and women. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Get another job, for Christ's sakes.
What a bimbo. Oh, wait, he said that.
That's right.
There's a woman on here that agrees. But listen, Donald Trump, like a couple people commented. One person even commented in the chat box. Donald Trump, they don't like Donald Trump, Mike. And you know what? I kind of agree. You know what? He's a rich billionaire who's got a big mouth and he can buy all kinds of media time. What about me if I wanted to run for president? They'd laugh at me down the road. What about the other people, other listeners out there? What if you wanted to run for president? Who's Donald Trump? What, because he's rich? Where did he come from? How did he make his money?
He knows what he's talking about. Not because he's rich.
I know what I'm talking about, don't I?
Nothing. But Donald Trump hasn't talked about nothing. He's avoided every single question asked. Every single one.
That's true. And like I said, his wife is posing in pornography magazines. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Turn the White House into a big party house again?
She's not the first one.
Exactly. I don't care what his wife.
That's right, and you can't hold him responsible for what another person does.
That's right.
Well, I could hold my wife responsible for what she does.
He probably didn't even know.
I'm not trying to.
Didn't know her
He wasn't married to her at the time.
Well,
no, he was not.
You got to hold Bush responsible for and Clinton for their kids going out and getting drunk and DWI. You got to hold everybody responsible for what their kids do then, or what their wives do, or what anybody does, not the person. That don't make sense. I don't care what Donald Trump's wife did, or if he has any kids, adopted children, or whatever. I don't care. I care more about what he's going to do and how he says he's going to do it. And he hasn't said he is going to do anything. Well, he says he's going to do a lot, but he doesn't tell you how.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't tell you how either, because the person we have in the White House now says, "Hey, Al Qaeda, guess what? We're going to bomb you in about 2 hours." So anyway, have a nice cup of tea on me.
And you can keep your own doctor.
You can keep your own doctor.
Until you go
for an extra $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
Listen, we can all get into really Donald Trump and everything, but you know what? One night I'm going to do a show about who really is president of the United States. And you know what? You can laugh all you want, but go back and look at history. The fact of the matter is, they don't represent you at all because we don't have a Constitution anymore. When the 14th Amendment came into existence, after the Reconstruction Acts of the Civil War, there is no longer a Constitution. You have no rights. You know what? I know that people don't want to read all history and laws, but I have. But I'm going to tell you something simple for you to read. Put on your computer after this show, House Resolution 122. It's 2 pages long. It explains
You're breaking up.
very clear.
Say that again.
Too loud.
House Resolution 192.
Okay.
Go ahead and type it in your browser and look it up. It tells you very clearly that you're nobody.
But you have to agree with
right.
it before you read it.
What's that?
You have to agree to it before you read it.
No. It's House Listen, it's very true.
That's a joke.
And that House resolution has never been repealed, Mike. And the fact of the matter is, don't you wonder why you don't get any rights today? Don't you wonder why you don't have rights? Don't you wonder why things are the way they are? Don't you wonder why the cops can get away with what they do? Because you have no rights. We don't have a republic anymore. You have a democracy, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. The majority rules.
That's right. There is a difference between a republic and a democracy, and we were supposed to be a republic.
June 5th, 1933, to assume uniform value to coins and currencies in the United States. And I said this last night, we can coin our own currency. We can't print the greenbacks. That's not part of it.
True. Somebody's got some background noise. I don't know if it's me or somebody. I don't know.
That's a teletype machine.
I don't have anything on. Just you.
All right. Well, somebody does. Whoever's got the background noise, please, because you got other people listening.
Let me turn my mic off and see if it goes away.
But what I'm trying to say is you just read a little bit of House Resolution 92, but it states very clearly that you do not own and you're not allowed to own anything anymore. That's why when you buy your house, I hear a lot of people say, I own my house. You see, that's a lie. You don't. You're given a warranty deed. A warranty deed means you're renting from the county or city or town you live in. You don't own it. That's why you pay a tax every year. They say, well, everyone's got to pay taxes. No. How could you own something and have to pay a tax on it? That means you're renting it. Because if you don't pay that tax, they'll come and get it. Right? So how could you own it?
Or your checks will bounce.
Wake up. You don't own it. You have to pay a tax or they'll come and get it.
The owner can also reserve a non-cash Federal Reserve routing number and any number of non-cash instrument numbers by filing an amendment to his or her financing statement or just including his or her reservation on the original financing statement. That's about banks now against this resolution. Yeah, the problem with this resolution is, you've got to go to law school or sit down here for an hour and a half to read these 4 pages.
I understand what you're talking about, but you might have looked up the wrong one, and it's only about a page and a half actually long. I mean,
but they're in here. They're talking about John Doe in here and everything else, and a uniform commercial code, which is another farce. This is right. I take it this was right at the beginning of the Federal Reserve Act.
Yeah, true.
Which they passed on a Christmas Eve when no one was there.
I can't get you anything right now that's really off the top of my head that's easy for you to look up. I mean, that could be a future show, but we all know banking in the house, most of you that are listening tonight, and those of you who don't, I mean, the history of the Federal Reserve and what it's all about, but we all know that the Federal Reserve isn't even federal. It's private. It's a private institution, and money really is not money. You're given receipts. I mean, I can't really explain it tonight because I wasn't prepared to go into that type of subject tonight. But
let me interrupt you
up.
for a second. Let me say something about this. I've taken The Creature from Jekyll Island, which explains all about the Federal Reserve and all about money, and put it out on my server. I would be happy to give anybody the link to download it. It's an MP3 format. We talked about this before. Edward Griffin is the one who did this. He also did the book, and I have written permission from Mr. Griffin to distribute this audio, so it's not illegal. And I put this out there a couple of weeks ago after I originally talked about it, because I knew one day the subject would come back up again, and it takes you from the beginning all through it. And if I get an email, I'll give you the link and you can download the MP3s.
Okay. Well, you got to give them somewhere to contact you.
Well, I figured you'd take care of that.
All right. Well, you can contact me by email, joegibsonisHome@yahoo.com, or you can send me a text message or even call me at 336-419-7236. But I just pulled it up while you were talking. House HJR 192, 73rd Congress, first session. It's only about a page long, so I don't know what you were reading, but it says very clearly, if everyone wants to listen real quick, I'll read it to you. Joint resolution to assure uniform value to the coins and currencies of the United States, whereas the holding of or dealing in gold affect the public interest and thereof subject to proper regulation and restriction, and whereas the existing emergency has disclosed that provision of obligations which purport to give the obligee a right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency of the United States or in an amount of money of the United States measured thereby, obstruct the power of Congress to regulate the value of money of the United States, and are inconsistent with the declared policy of Congress to maintain at all times the equal power of every dollar coined or issued by the United States in the markets and in payment of debts. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress that every provision contained in or made with respect to any obligation which purports to give the obligee a right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of currency or an amount of money of the United States measured thereby is declared to be against public policy. Okay? Now, let me in very simple layman terms. What does the Constitution say? Gold and silver is legal tender. This House resolution, gold and silver is no longer legal tender. It's now illegal. You cannot pay for goods and services with silver, okay? And we don't have to go on anymore because I know some of you may be confused, but it does go on to say in about 2 more paragraphs that the Federal Reserve note is a receipt, and therefore you cannot own or buy anything as an American citizen anymore because it's against public policy. They did away with public law. You now have public policy. That's 2 different things, folks. Public policy are 2 different things. When you became a 14th Amendment, what's that?
Talk a little softer, but you're breaking up.
All right. When you become a 14th Amendment, it's the volume on this phone because I'm using a different phone tonight. When you become a 14th Amendment slave. Okay, when you are born and you receive a birth certificate and a Social Security number, you are now registered with the Federal Reserve as a human resource. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. Look it up in Black's Law Dictionary, the Law Dictionary, not Webster's. The Black's Law. That's what everything's done by law. Okay, Uniform Commercial Code law. If you read those commercial codes, Uniform UCC law, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Why your name is spelled in all large capital letters when you receive a bill or, for instance, your company's bill. How is your name spelled in that bill? Open one up and look at it. Your name is spelled in all large capital letters. You know why? Because corporate entity. Because you're not considered a person anymore. Because we're now under public policy, not public law. I cannot go on and on because this is about an hour's worth of conversation. But what Joe said merited, if you look up check language and watch that video, you understand what the Federal Reserve is all about and why our situation we are in today, because it's important thing. A lot. We all need money to buy things. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So you must understand what money is. It's all about and what you need to have it. You're living lost in society today. You can your mouth off all you want about Donald Trump. The matter is, you know the truth. Things are happening today, and that's understanding the times in which we live in today. And conquer all these topics and subjects and issues in 1 hour or a half. That's why you need to listen and follow me, because we're going to learn together. On. Does anyone else have anything else to share tonight?
Well, the one I'm looking at, it talks basically about what you said too, but it also goes into what happens when you accept consideration about John Doe being fiction and more or less puts it back into a language we can understand. And your phone is terrible. It's breaking up left and right.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You're not breaking up at all. I'm going to fix that tomorrow night, I promise. Okay?
Yep.
But anyway, we should start wrapping it up, okay? So I'm going to close it out. Listen, tomorrow I'm doing a lunchtime show. It has nothing to do with what we were talking about tonight, okay? So you want to tune in Tuesday evening at 7:30, you're more than welcome, and we'll do the topic again, understanding the times in which we live in today. But tomorrow I'm going to be talking about something really different. We're going to talk about sports. So if you're a sports fan, tune in at lunchtime. I want to bring in more different types of crowds to the show, okay? So
I'll go
12 noon tomorrow if you're interested. Good night, everyone.
No sports. I'll go pick tomatoes. Have a good night.
Okay, good night. Listen to this song. You'll like it.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's...
People want to talk.
Good evening. I would like to report on the state of our war against the American people. We're mounting a sustained campaign to crack down on every American and every person of every faith and every nation, and to bring them to justice. All missions are being executed according to plan, without warning or provocation. Americans are being swept up in an international dragnet. Thousands of FBI agents are on the trail of other citizens here and abroad. It has everything to do with hate and evil and murder and prejudice. America's strong.
Federal agents, we are armed!
What would you do if you knew all the things we know? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away? What would you do if you knew all the things we know? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
I see a message from the government. Like every day, I watch it and listen and call them all suckers. They wanted me about Osama or whatever. Picture me buying the scam. I said never. You in tune to a hard truth soldier spitting. I stay committed, gives a fuck to die, I lose commission. It's all a part of fighting devil state mind control, and all about the battle for your body, mind, and soul. And now I'm hoping you don't close your mind so they shape you. Don't forget they made us slaves, gave us AIDS and raped us. Another Bush season mean another war for profit. All in secret so the public never seek to stop it. The Illuminati, 666, all connected. Stole a vote, they control the race and take elections. It's the Skull and Bones Freemason Kill Committee. See the dragon getting shittier in every city.
What would you do if you knew all the things we know? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
Now ask yourself, who's the one with the most to gain? On 9/11, motherfuckers couldn't stand his name. Now even niggas waving flags like they lost their mind. Everybody got opinions, but don't know the time. Cause America's been took, it's plain to see. The oldest trick in the book is making enemy. A phony evil so the government can do its dirt and take away your freedom, lock and load, beat and search. Ain't nothing changed but more colored people locked in prison. These pigs still beat us, but it seems we forgetting. But I remember 4 September how these devils do it. Fuck Giuliani, ask Diallo how he doing. We in the streets, holler jail to the thief. Follow, fuck waving flag, bring these dragons to their knees. Oil, blood, money, make these killers ride cold. Suspicious suicide, people dying never told. It's all a part of playing God, so you think we need them. While being Ashcroft, take away your rights to freedom. Bear witness to the sickness of these dictators. Hope you understand the time, brother, cause it's major.
What would you do if you knew all the things we know? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
So now you asking why my records always come the same. Keep it real, ain't no fillers, motherfucker blinging. Mine eyes seen the gory of the coming of the beast. So every story, every word I'm saying, fuck peace. so you could witness the Illuminati body count. Don't be surprised, these is devils that I'm talking about. You think a couple thousand lies mean shit to killers? Nigga, I swear to God, we the ones, ain't no villains. Or any other word they think to demonize a country. Ain't no terror threat unless approval rating slumping. So I'ma say it for the record, we the ones that planned it. Ain't no other country took a part or had their hand in. Just a way to keep you scary so you think you need them. Praising Bush while that killer take away your freedom. How many of us got discovered but ignore the symptoms? Niggas talking loud but ain't nobody saying shit. And with the Fourth Amendment gone, eyes are on the first. That's why I'm spitting cyanide each and every verse. I see the Carlisle group and Harris bank accounts. I see them plead the fifth each and every session now. And while Reichstag burns, see the public buy it. I see the profiling, see the media's compliance. War's good for business, see the vicious make a savior. Hope you understand the time, brother, cause it's major.
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong?
It's not my country. My country is me and my family.
Well, countries also. Huerta, and the governor, the landlords, Gunther Ruse and his locusts. This little revolution we're having here.
Revolution? Well, revolution, please don't try to tell me about revolution. I know all about the revolutions and how they start. The people that read the books, they go to the people that don't read the books. They put people and they say, ho, the time has come to have a change, huh? Sit, shush! I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the revolutions. The people who read the books go to the people who can't read the books. They put people and say, we have to have a change, so the poor people make the change, huh? And then the people who read the books, they all sit around the big polished tables, and they talk and talk and talk and eat and eat and eat, huh? But what has happened to the poor people? They're dead! That's your revolution. So please, don't tell me about revolutions.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
A palace in which there is no king or queen or dukes or earls or princes, but subjects all, subjects beholden to each other to make a better place to live. Is that too much to ask? Are we asking too much? Is it beyond our reach? Because if it is, then we are nothing but sheep being herded to the final slaughterhouse. I will not go down that way. I choose to fight back. I choose to rise, not fall. I choose to live, not die. And I know that what's within me is also within you. That's why I ask you now. Join me. Rise up with me. Rise up on the wings of this slain angel. We'll rebuild on the soul of this little warrior. We will pick up his standard and raise it up. Carry it forward until this city, your city, our city, his city is a palace again. It's a palace again.
halls of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation tonight. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the background noise and the bad connection, but listen, tune in tomorrow, please. If you're not interested in that, tune in Tuesday night, and we'll do another show typical to this. Thank you very much. Your support is awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good night. God bless each and every one of you.